I started my automotive career pretty much out of, it's probably, let's say, default. My family owns an auto repair business, and my grandfather was a technician. My father still is a technician. I grew up from the age of probably 3 or 4 years old, walking around the shop, playing with the tools. I didn't go to a vocational high school. I went to a traditional high school. It wasn't until I graduated that I decided that I wanted to do it for real. You don't need any automotive experience in order to take this course. We are happy to teach you from the ground up. I have students that come in when they start, they don't even know how to check their oil, let alone do any repairs. All they know is put gas in the tank and go. Those are actually my best students, because then I don't have any bad habits to break. So when we use our lift, we always start by saying, going up, hit the button, okay? That click is normal. What that is there's a set of safety locks on here. So if for some reason the hydraulic circuits in the lift failed and it went down, it will only go down a couple inches and it gets stuck on the locks. Now if you try to pull this, it won't go down because the car is sitting on it. This is one of the basics that they learn first, right? Because it's extremely important that they know how to operate this thing. So they're putting something up in the air, it doesn't fall off, right? The average class size is roughly between 15 and 18. We have 8 bays, an engine and transmissions lab, a traditional classroom. We have men and women's locker rooms. This new facility is really a game changer as far as hands-on and being able to get in there and learn. We're a fully functioning auto repair facility. Pretty much anything that can be done, we do right here in-house.
Engines, transmissions, anything with a car, you learn it here.
In high school, it's like, oh, hey, basic tire changes, oil changes. Don't get really into engines or anything like that. And here, it's just more opportunities to actually learn.
When I first joined the program, I knew nobody. I was the new kid, nobody knew me, but everyone in this program is so kind and you get to know them quickly. Like these guys in the back, they're like my best friends now. I hang out with them after class.
Lots of times when people come through and they tour, and one of the questions is, well, I'm a girl, can I do this? And of course you can. I have a team of female students out there. They're some of my better students.
I got into it because I personally felt like a woman can do a man's job. I mean, so that's kind of where I was standing. And I've done this since I was a kid, so.
Guys, sorry, but you come in here, you think you know everything, and you don't.
I was always frustrated that, my dad's a mechanic, and I was the girl of the family, so I never really got, I'd just be the wrench monkey, I never got, oh, come here, I'll show you this, or whatever. So I was always kind of curious, always had an interest in cars, and just applied to the program.
I just have family members that are mechanics, and just been told females can't do it, and I just want to prove them correctly.
What if I don't want to turn wrenches? What if I don't actually want to be on the shop floor? Which is, it's a great question. You don't have to turn wrenches when you come through this program. Now when I say turn wrenches, I'm talking about being under a hood every day fixing cars. Most of us, that's what we're going to do. But there's a group of people that will end up as service advisors. There's a group of people that will end up as parts professionals. Some of you will go into small engines. I've had quite a few students that have gone into small engine stuff. One of them works on John Deere tractors now. Another one works for Kubota right now. So there's many avenues that you can go down once you finish with this program. Here at the Mount, our program, the automotive piece is the same, whether it's the certificate or the degree. The only difference is when you do the certificate, you don't have to take all the businesses and the maths and the English, but the automotive content is still the same no matter what.
My plan is to get an automotive degree, and then once I'm done here, I'm gonna go back to New York and work in my family business.
Do you need the certificate? Do you need the degree? Can you just start working? The answer is yes, all of those are true. But if you get the degree, it's gonna open more pathways and more doors for you down the road. Your pay is usually directly related to your education in the field and your ability level. So the more that you learn in the school environment, the more that you'll be able to do on the shop floor, so your paycheck will be greater. It's very difficult to find automotive technicians nowadays, and the pay has gone up dramatically over the last 20 years. Now, the average automotive technician is anywhere from $20 to $30 an hour flat rate. And I have friends that I went to school with that are making well over 6 figures now as technicians. So that's been one of the big draws, I think, to the program, is people realize how much they can earn. So this machine here is the Hunter Road Force Elite Balancer, and it is a laser balancer, requires no input from the person operating it. And the roller in the back of the machine lowers, drops down onto the tire as it's being balanced. There's an air bladder in the back that puts a lot of weight on it. It simulates the car's weight, and it has lasers that shine through here, and from up here, and actually does a live run out of the tire as it's being balanced. We take in cars from the outside sometimes, from faculty and staff, friends, family members, people in the community that might need some assistance. We'll do some repairs on those cars as well. School vehicles that the school owns that are here just for the students to practice on, but primarily I find that most students prefer to work on their own car.
This is my second semester. Right now I'm working on my personal car. I'm fixing an issue. It's the cam phaser on your intake cam. The way I diagnosed that was going online, and there's actually a tech service bulletin on it. And it gave me the exact problem. On a cold start, it rattles for 3-4 seconds, and I almost got everything done. Now I'm just putting new gaskets in. Now I'll find out in the morning if it's fixed. It's
the year 2021, we have the internet. So like there's really nothing that you can't read or find out from some knowledgeable source, or even in forums, finding out like if someone else has had the same exact problem that has the same car as you, it's probably a similar fix or along the same lines.
Now, as far as young drivers, people who are just starting to drive and want to know what can I do to help take care of my vehicle, scheduled service maintenance is extremely important with any automobile. One of the things that people forget about is just your basics. All right? Changing your oil, changing your transmission fluid. Tire rotations are huge. People forget about tire rotations. Air filters every once in a while, based off of use. It's simple things that people don't do that could prolong the life of their vehicle. Just pay attention to the noises that your car makes. And if you have a question, if you're not sure, go to a service center, wherever your family gets their vehicle serviced, and ask the technician, hey, this noise just developed. Can you help me figure out what it is? Simple things like that, if caught early enough, could be the difference between say a $100 repair to a $400 or $500 repair. You always are seeing something different. Sometimes a vehicle comes in, there's broken bolts, you have to come up with a game plan how to remove those bolts. Another car will come in and it's an electrical problem, but it's always something different. It keeps you on your toes, keeps you having to think. It's a 2010 Hyundai Accent with a 1.6.
For me, I've always been a big fan of work smarter, not harder. In school growing up, I was definitely taught there's no stupid questions, there's no such thing as dumb questions, and there's always more than one way to solve a problem. So creative problem solving skills have definitely helped me in this type of field work.
One of the things I enjoy seeing the most is when I give a difficult problem here in the shop, ask the kids to figure it out. Everybody has a different outlook on how to come to a conclusion as to what the problem is, and seeing them collaborate together and work together and try to come up with a resolution on how to get the job done. That's one of the things I enjoy seeing the most.
If a customer comes in with a car with the problem, Eric, our professor, he'll assign a few students to diagnose the problem, and then once we've diagnosed it, we go back to Eric, and Eric will tell us if we're right or wrong. And then if we're right, we go ahead, tear it apart, do whatever we need to do, and fix it.
This piece of equipment here is what we call an engine trainer. It's made by a company called Console Lab. Phenomenal for diagnostic testing. We can actually run the vehicle. When I say vehicle, I mean this trainer. It's fully functioning. It has its cooling system connected. It has its electrical system connected. It has a computer here to run the vehicle. So when we Turn it on, you can hear the fuel pump energize. You can see the dash lights up. You turn the key, and the vehicle will actually run, okay? So we can run this vehicle. Down here we have what's known as a fault box, okay? This fault box is designed for diagnostic purposes, so I can set up a problem. I can make it so this engine does not run properly, and the students have to connect the scan tool like Megan is doing here now and try to figure out why this is not running properly. So if I flip this switch, I don't know if you can hear it or not or tell, but it just totally changed the way that it's running. And now it's skipping, okay? They just created a misfire. See the lights up red? The students don't know because it's in a locked box. They have to try to figure it out. Okay, so I can simulate all sorts of different problems that this vehicle has, and then they can come in with a scan tool and figure out exactly why it's happening. And once they tell me the correct diagnosis, then I shut the switch off and we can go on to the next. So one of the reasons why it's so hard to find technicians now is the increase in technology. The basic simple repairs that used to be the norm are kind of going away. Nowadays, if you're doing a brake job, lots of times you even need a computer to reset things when you do a brake job. You go to replace the rear brakes, you have to have a special scan tool that can reset the rear calipers. There's a lot of technology that are in these cars now that people aren't aware of. And a lot of the technicians that are in the field that have been doing this for the last 25, 30 years are getting out of it because they don't want to keep up with the new technology. The people retiring are retiring at a faster rate than the people are coming in. So the supply and demand is really off. And just this semester, I've already placed 7 students with dealerships. So it's a very easy career path. If you want to get in, there's doors that are open, people are waiting.
I'm in manual transmissions, performance and diagnostics 2, and electrical 1. Those are the current classes I'm taking this semester. And in manual transmissions, we just learned how to rebuild a 5-speed manual transmission, and we learned how to rebuild a rear differential and a transaxle. So it gets very involved. It's not just learning how to do simple stuff. You are a full-blown technician in the lab. And in class, we go over the textbooks.
First thing we usually do is we start off the day with our lecture. We go into the classroom, a lot of two-way discussions, not just me up there talking all, for multiple hours. I ask questions, people ask their questions, and we get into the different chapters of the book and, get to the meat and bones of the diagnostic process and how the systems work.
In the classroom, we learn how to use different diagnostic tools, go over the book work, and when we're doing that, Eric, our professor, he teaches us how to use these tools, where to hook them up, everything. So you get a very broad range of education when it comes to just in the classroom. You learn a lot.
We talk about the different chapters in the book, about the content. We try to learn the theory behind how the components work and what happens. And once we have a fairly strong understanding of particular subsystem, then we'll come out onto the shop floor and work in that area. For instance, right now we're doing one of the courses we're going through is alignments right now. We just are about to start primary alignment angles. Next shop class, they'll be spending most of the day on the alignment machine, learning how to use it, doing alignments on their own vehicles, shop vehicles, just trying to basically understand the alignment fundamentals and how it works.
We want to come into turn wrenches. We don't want to stay in there, but obviously we need the knowledge in order for us to fix a car. But I'm pretty sure we're all more hands-on learners than we are book learners.
My favorite part of the day is when we come back from the classroom portion and we get to go out in the shop and start working.
Every student that joins our program, included in their cost of their tuition and fees and whatnot to be here, includes a toolkit. The toolkit is an industry-grade toolkit.
This is my toolbox. I got this when I signed up for the program, and it's pretty much got everything I need to at least get started in the field. It was awesome to get real tools for the first time, because I mean, I have decent tools at my house, but nothing like this. And a lot of them are all mismatched and dirty and old. And then I got this thing. These are all my own. So it was really cool to get my own box.
No shop is going to spend tens of thousands of dollars on tools and just let people borrow them and use them. It's kind of industry standard that you have to have your own. The best quality that you can have coming into this program is a strong work ethic. Showing up on time, staying late if need be, not afraid to get your hands dirty, not afraid to, really get in and get the job done. Consistency is a big thing as far as attendance goes. The automotive stuff, that's what I'm here for. I'm going to teach you that. Employability skills, I can't necessarily teach you those. Those are something that's learned over time. I definitely try to teach employability skills, but if you're a hard worker, you're a hard worker, and that's what most employers even are looking for when they get, new students that want internships or to receive employment. If you're going to do this for a living, you have to be willing to work hard and sometimes long hours. And again, depending on where you work will dictate what type of a lifestyle you have. I know guys that work at dealerships that work 70, 80, 90 hours a week. They're working 7 days a week, but that's their choice. You don't have to. I know guys that work in independent shops that are working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and that's it. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to earn the big money, if you're looking for the long dollar, you're gonna have to put in some more hours. That's just how it is. But you can live a very comfortable lifestyle working fairly normal hours if you find the right spot.
The skills I learned here, I actually applied in the real world because my family and we own a business in New York, and I've learned a lot through this program. I've learned through the class book and actually know how the engine works. It's gotten a lot easier for me to diagnose problems like this and know what the exact source of the problem is.
If you enjoy taking things apart, trying to put them back together, just curious on how things work, this is probably a good career for you, because that's what we do every day.
This program definitely has the kind of feel of like nothing's too hard, like nothing's impossible. There's always a way. There's always a solution. There's always a way around anything. Like no job is too difficult, and I feel like that's something you can really take into life. Past this, really into any career if we're speaking career-wise.
I hope I've answered any questions you might have about the Auto Tech program. If there's anything that I didn't touch on, you're welcome to reach out to the Automotive Technology Department. I'm happy to answer anything that I can for you. You can also feel free to schedule a visitation. Come down, you can walk around the facility, take a look, see what you think, and answer any questions you have then. Thank you.
Okay, so I did see a few questions coming up in the chat. One of the first questions that I saw was, is this a full program offered at MWCC?
Sorry, one more time, is this a full program offered at MWCC?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, it is. It's a complete degree program, depending on what you'd like. We have a certificate program, and we also have a degree program. I'd say probably half of the students are in the degree program. The other half are in the certificate program. As I said in the video, the automotive piece is no different from the certificate to the degree. They're both have the same automotive content. The only difference is with a certificate, there aren't as many courses that you have to take. There are no business classes. There's obviously prereqs to get into some of the courses, but there's no required math and English and whatnot. But the automotive content is the same. And if you do the degree program and you graduate, you'll graduate with an associate's degree of science in automotive technology.
Awesome. And the second question that came up in the Q&A was, can you build a car from scratch?
anything is possible if you have enough time and enough money. We do not build cars from scratch here, but it can be done. There's lots of shows. I think there's one on the Discovery Channel that has people that make hot rods from the ground up pretty much. So it can be done.
Okay. One question that just came in is someone said, is there an age limit? I'm not exactly sure what they're referring to, but it might be when they drive, it might be when they enter the program. I'm not entirely sure.
So I know that the Mount has some dual enrollment programs where high school students can also be taking college courses. And I've had those students in the past. So I've had students as young as 17 years old, 16 years old. And I've had students, I had one student a few years back who was a retired orthodontist. She liked cars and wanted to rebuild her own, and she took the whole program. She got a degree in automotive technology.
Someone else just asked, do you guys rebuild engines?
So we have trainers that we do use. We have old engines. I usually start by letting people tear apart the old engines first, just so if you're going to break something, it happens on the old engines, not the new trainers. I have had students in the past that have brought their own engines in and have rebuilt the motor and then put it in their car. So yes, we do rebuild the engine, and every student will take one apart and put it back together.
So we have about 5 minutes left. I just wanted to let you know, but someone said, what do you think the best starter car is?
Best starter car? Well, obviously that's going to depend on budget. How much money do you have to spend? But anytime anyone asks me what they should do for their first car, I say find something that's in your price range and find something that's fairly low maintenance. Hondas, Toyotas, Hyundais, even some of the Kias, the smaller, more fuel efficient models. There's not a lot of bells and whistles, and they last an extremely long time. So it's usually a good first car.
Great. Do you have a frame machine? I have a bent frame on my vehicle.
We do not do auto body work. So we do not have a frame machine here. That would be something you'd have to take to an auto body shop to get straightened.
What is the best JDM, and do you like JDM?
Let me refer this to one of my students, because I don't do JDM. How about you guys? Any guys?
Well, JDM, I find it's a simple system for me that I like with the JDM cars, and there's a lot you can do to modify the cars that you take your own. Whereas like domestic, there's not as many options as the where JDM cars have. So there's a bunch of different ways you can make the car. That's why I like JDM. Everybody has a personal preference.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of students that I have here that have done quite a few modifications to their vehicles from tuning to add-on turbos to exhaust systems to coilovers. There's all sorts of modifications that the guys have done here.
What's the craziest car that you guys have worked on?
It depends on, you talking here at the school?
I believe they're talking about that at the school.
All right, so if it's here at the school, we have a Mercedes-Benz S550 that was donated to us from Mercedes-Benz USA. The sticker was still in the glove box for the car, and the car was over $100,000 new. So that's probably the nicest vehicle that we work on. One of the things that we do here at the Mount is we've partnered with a few different manufacturers to deliver some OEM education. So if you don't know what OEM means, that's original equipment manufacturer. So it'll be like, for instance, we have a partnership with Mercedes, we have a partnership with Subaru, and we have a partnership with Ford. So those 3 partnerships allow students that are interested in those particular models to get some factory direct training through that manufacturer's website. And essentially it gives them a leg up on competition when it comes time for employment, because they've already been trained in that particular vendor.
I'm going to just read off one last question, then I'm going to make some closing remarks. So the last question I'm going to read is, do you work on V8s?
Yes, we do.
Okay.